Welcome back to the channel, where unbelievable talent, emotional stories, and jaw-dropping performances from around the world come to life. Today, we have a story that will stay with you long after this video ends. It's about a poor Filipino kid who walked onto the America's Got Talent stage with nothing but a dream, a borrowed guitar, and a voice that would soon shock millions. His performance of the legendary song Hotel California left Simon Cowell in absolute disbelief, the audience in stunned silence, and the judges in tears. The moment the kid stepped onto the stage, you could feel his nervous energy from the very first step. His clothes were simple, his guitar old and scratched, and his hands trembled as he held the microphone. When Simon asked him about his background, he spoke with honesty that touched everyone listening. He shared how he grew up in a small rural area in the Philippines where his family struggled every single day. Music was never taught to him, and he never had the chance to take lessons. Instead, he learned by watching street musicians and practicing whenever he could borrow a guitar from his uncle. That guitar was the same one he brought to the AGT stage. As he took a deep breath and positioned his fingers on the strings, no one in the room expected what was about to happen. The gentle guitar intro of Hotel California began, and within seconds, the entire auditorium fell silent. The kid didn't just sing the song. He felt it. His voice had a raw, soulful tone, filled with emotion that only someone who has lived through pain, hope, and struggle could deliver. Every word carried weight, every note carried meaning, and his eyes reflected years of dreams he never dared to openly express. Simon Cowell leaned back in his chair, eyebrows raised, clearly shocked by the voice coming from such a young, humble performer. The judges exchanged looks. The audience listened without moving, without speaking, captured by the magic happening on stage. Even the camera crew seemed to slow down, focusing tightly on the boy's face as he poured his heart into every moment of the song. When he reached the iconic chorus, something extraordinary happened. His voice soared higher, stronger, and clearer than anyone expected. It had power. It had soul. It sounded like someone who had spent a lifetime mastering their craft. And yet, here he was, a poor kid from the Philippines, singing one of the most famous songs in history with a skill that rivaled seasoned performers. By the time he reached the final verse, you could see tears forming in the eyes of people in the audience. One woman in the front row covered her mouth. Even Howie Mandel was shaking his head in amazement. Heidi and Sophia looked like they were holding their breath, afraid to interrupt the moment. When the last note finally faded, the room erupted with applause. People stood up in seconds, giving him a massive standing ovation. The boy looked overwhelmed, emotional, and almost in disbelief at what he had just created. He covered his face with his hands, trying to hold back tears. For him, this wasn't just an audition. This was a dream coming true right in front of his eyes. Simon Cowell waited for the applause to settle before speaking. His voice was unusually soft, and his expression was filled with genuine respect. He told the kid that his performance wasn't just good, it was unforgettable. He said the boy's interpretation of Hotel California was one of the most emotional versions he had ever heard in his life. The judges praised him for his bravery, his talent, and his heart. Then came the moment no one expected. Simon reached toward the golden buzzer. The audience screamed. The boy looked confused, almost unable to process what was happening. And then, with a single press, the stage exploded in golden confetti. The kid dropped to his knees, crying, while the judges rushed onto the stage to hug him. It was a moment filled with emotion, gratitude, and pure magic. This audition will be remembered as one of the most inspiring moments in the history of the show. A reminder that talent can come from anywhere, dreams can rise from even the poorest places, and the world will always make room for a voice that speaks from the soul.